Well, I suppose at some point I have to get down and eat this one. This is the chocolate Borg 9. This is sent to me by Stephen Canaday. Thanks, Stephen. And this is a chocolate pod that was found by Chris Saunders in the UK. Thanks also to Chris for sharing this with many people, although I haven't eaten it yet, so maybe my attitude will change after I have. Let's see. It's a very, very light pod, so I'm guessing it's not going to have much pepper kind of flesh in there. But it's kind of a pale milk chocolate really, rather than a dark chocolate, but it really is pretty impressive. So I think we'll take this one, chocolate Borg 9, and let's have a look inside this completely horrible, disgusting looking thing. Yeah, as expected, it's almost all placenta around the inside of the pepper, and there's very, very little in the way of flesh around the outside. Reminds me a lot of sepia serpent in that respect. All placenta, no pepper. There's lots and lots of oil pockets in here. It's kind of hard to see. We've got, well, it's everywhere. I mean, it's just everywhere. The aroma is very typical for a chocolate super hot. This one's not so bad. It has that sort of plasticky, crayon-y kind of smell, and sort of tobacco-y and earthy, and all of those words we use to try and convey aroma that don't work very well. Okay, so the chocolate Borg 9, and I'm sure I'll regret it. I'll be back in a minute. Hi, and here we are back again. Today with one that's scaring the crap out of me. This is a chocolate Borg 9. Now, this was sent to me by Stephen Canaday, Peppergeekfarms, and it's grown from seeds from Chris Saunders in the UK. Chris found this in his Borg 9s last year, I guess, and has generously given it out to quite a few people, so I feel quite privileged to actually have one of these. Saying that, I desperately don't want to eat it. So I'm going to chat for another 15-20 minutes and see if I can convince you that I've already eaten it, when in fact I haven't. So the aroma of this thing is reasonably strong. It's very brown, super hotty, for want of a better term. It's hard to describe how these things smell really, because they're all very similar. This one actually smells a little bit better than a lot. But you saw, I think, in the preamble bit that there's very, very little pepper flesh. It's basically the skin over the top of a whole ton of placenta. So usually pods like that tend to be a little bitter, often a little perfumey as well, just because the placenta's that way. And I really don't expect this to be much different. And I'm still putting off eating it. Oops. Okay, chocolate Borg 9. Cheers. Oh, the flavour is awful. And it's really hot to start with. Oh, that's not good. Very hot. It's plasticky, bitter, a little green actually. and it's very, very hot. New seeds in my teeth. Save those for later. Great. So the flavour's not good, in my opinion. Not not good at all. But I've had worse. It's not sepia serpent bad. The little bit of greenness helps. Oh, and here comes the heat now. It's all tongue burn. It's absolutely killing my tongue. Making my eyes water already. Yeah, that's hot. And that hurts a lot. It's all tongue burn. It's all tongue burn. And my eyes are smarting like crazy. It's almost as if the capsaicin's gone straight to the tear ducts and it's just pouring out now. I'm crying like crazy. I'm dripping. And it's yeah, it's an extremely painful pod. It's hard to know where heat is and pain is and how they combine. I'd say this one was a lot more painful than it is hot. It's very, very hot, don't get me wrong. But the pain is really, really atrocious. And my eyes are just smarting like crazy. I'm starting to sweat like crazy too. Yeah, that's screaming hot. That really is very, very hot and very, very painful. In all honesty, it's not as bad as I expected though. And it's still on the way up. Yeah, I'm starting to get a endorphin rush now. My feet are tingling, my hands tingling. And the pain is, my tongue is hurting so much. I honestly just don't know what to do with myself. It's not going to the throat at all tongue burn. That my eyes smarting like crazy. Well, surprisingly, it's just about peaking. I expected that to go on a lot longer and actually be a lot worse. That is not as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, it's just peaked. And it's just excruciating pain on my tongue. As I said, flavour wise, initially it's horrid, but that only lasts a few seconds and then it's actually not bad at all, for a chocolate super hot anyway. The sort of greenness to it, the grassy tones, really make it a lot more tolerable, and it's only bitter very briefly, not really very perfumey at all. Now it's going to my throat now. I think it's finally washing off my tongue and attacking the throat. Oh, I'm really shaking like a leaf. But definitely on its way down. Not as bad as I expected. Didn't taste as bad as I thought it would. Has that very plasticky, crayon-y taste. But the grassiness helps, as I said. There's no real sweetness to it. No acidity to it very much. Yeah, it's definitely on the way down. Wow. So not nearly as bad as I expected. Crazy hot, crazy painful, but I've had worse. Not very many, but I have had worse. Hotter, more painful. The endorphin rush is already starting to subside, so it's not going to be a really big endorphin rush. Probably not going to get much of a high from this one. Yeah, it's now sitting in the back of the throat. Now it's sort of cleared from the tongue largely, and now it's sitting in the back of the throat like a hot coal. And the aftertaste is very similar to how it goes in, but without the bitterness. There isn't any bitterness at all on the aftertaste. I suspect you could actually use this in some form of cooking, as long as you added some sweetness and some acidity to whatever you were making. Pardon me. Yeah, really tanking very fast now. Now it's it's not really very painful, not especially hot. I can feel it all the way down my esophagus into my stomach, but that's pretty standard with these things. Quite short-lived. Not really much else to say about that one. That's a big surprise. I was expecting that to be challenging for the hottest thing I've ever eaten, and it really isn't. Wow, surprising. Okay, well, this is a pepper found by Chris Saunders in the UK, and I'm not sure if this is F2 now, but thanks very much to Chris for distributing seeds for this to a number of people, including Stephen Canaday. Thanks a lot, Stephen, for sending me the pepper. I really do appreciate that very much. And this is Nigel Carter, somewhat surprised to be still sitting, saying thanks a lot for watching, and I'll be back with more insanity soon. See you later.